But apparently, according to the only Apple analyst that ever gets anything right, that is actually not true. Vision Pro may be Apple's only AR headset until 2027. The company has yet to even start work on a Vision Pro 2 or a Vision Air, according to, this was Ming Chi Kuo, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That said, Apple is allegedly working on ways to produce the current Vision Pro more cheaply, which could lead to a price cut next year. I don't know about that. A price cut for Vision Pro? Do you guys think that's even a possibility?
They did it with the HomePod.
Well, they took the HomePod off the market for like a year and a half.
First they dropped the price.
Did they? I guess it was originally
AirPods
$350.
Max as well.
What's that?
AirPods Max as well.
They dropped the AirPod Max
price of that?
I think they used to be $550, and then they lowered it down to $500.
Okay, so
I
like
thought
a
they
slight
still
discount.
listed for $550.
Yeah, I mean, how much of a price break do you think we would get? I don't know. Like, I can't imagine it being huge, but
No, they're still $550. They're still $550.
Oh, my mistake.
are they? Okay, maybe they cut the price during like certain seasons, like the holidays and stuff, or they'll have their third-party partners do it for them because Apple never cuts their prices on anything. But let's see here. According to Ming Chi Kuo, the market generally expects Apple to release a lower price version with downgraded specs, reduced number of cameras, removal of eyesight, etc., and a new model and with upgraded specs. However, my latest survey indicates that Apple has not officially started either project. It is currently estimated that new models of the Vision Pro with significant changes to the Vision Pro specification may not be in mass production until 2027. Although there may be a, let's see here, cheaper variant? No, the new project focuses... Oh, Apple's reportedly hard at work on a Vision Pro related project that'll launch in the fourth quarter of 2024 on the first quarter of the next year, but it's not one that people might expect. The new project focuses on improving the efficiency of production and supply chain management rather than changing specs, said the longtime Apple analyst. So what does that mean? We might get a price cut next year, but the actual next version of the Vision Pro may not be coming until 2027. That's a long time. So that almost makes me want to rebuy a Vision Pro. If it's going to be that long,
I know. Isn't that true? I mean, wasn't that at least part of your thing? Like, well, it's going to come out next year. It's going to be cheaper and lighter and better.
I mean, that was one of my primary motivations for returning it, was the fact that I'm like, this is incredible, but wait until Generation 2. It's going to be, so much better than it is now and probably cheaper. But if I have to wait till 2027, I wasn't on board for that.
But I feel like you need to like read into the lines of like, what does Ming Chi Kuo actually know as a fact, and what is he guessing on? 2027, he says, is his current estimation. But I think like, I mean, I've been saying on the show before that I don't think that if you're holding out for a Vision Air that's going to be like, a 4K display instead of an 8K display, or like, I don't want the eyesight feature, in a cheaper version, they'll just cut that. I've been saying on the show, I don't think they're going to make the specs any lower than this current model. This is what they consider to be the bare minimum for having a compelling Vision OS experience. It's only going to get cheaper when they can manufacture it cheaper. And it sounds like that's what the actual plan is. On the other hand, like, I feel like that's, I think, like the big part of this story that Apple is actually planning on early next year, having internal changes that will allow them to lower the price. But on the other hand, it kind of feels like Ming Chi Kuo is just guessing about 2027.
Yeah, and he's had some wacky predictions in the past that ended up not being totally right. And so I do think that this is him just, guessing.
Well, I mean, he calls it a prediction. I mean, that's what he does.
And some would say a prediction is a guess, Lewis. Some would say those two things are synonymous.
Very similar. Were you going to get to the... he had something about the return rate. Did you hear that? Did you notice that part?
Yeah, dude. I don't know if I buy this. That was a completely different story.
No? Well,
is
it's
it
the same. It's
the same Ming Chi Kuo blog post that we spun up into two different stories.
Okay. So we took The Hobbit and we split it into 3 books. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so he was saying... And don't forget the last movie's in 2 parts. So he was saying... Should I try to bring up this story? He was commenting on. Let me bring this up. The return rate for Vision Pro, dude. I do not believe this in any way, shape, or form, and I don't know how he would even know this.
Well, he says, according to my survey of the repair/refurbishment production line, the current return rate for Vision Pro is less than 1% with no anomalies. Which, what does that even mean? I guess that means that's in line with a typical product.
Dude, I do not believe that for a second. I don't believe it. I do
the other
not
part about that is he says it is worth noting that 20 to 30% of the returns are due to users not knowing how to set up Vision Pro.
There's no way that's true. There is no way that's true.
I mean,
when I came into the Apple Store to return mine, that guy rattled off a list of like the top 5 reasons, and I had like 3 of them. And customers not getting fit correctly was not even in that list. Now, maybe they think that some of these problems that people have are because the Vision Pro was not fit correctly. I don't think that's true. I don't know how the fit of the Vision Pro would solve the biggest problems.
That's not even what he said. How they didn't know how to set it up is what he said. What does that mean?
That's what I mean. Like when he talks about setting it up, does he mean like installing the light shield, or does he mean like actually setting it up so that you can use it, like the actual software?
I think the second is what I took that to mean. Very odd, because I mean, even with eyes that couldn't work in it, I was able to get it set up, until I couldn't reach that last whatever it was.
I bet you I could strap this thing onto my 4-year-old son's head, and he could figure out how to use the software. It was like the most intuitive software that I've ever used.
And you said that there was like a survey that they had you take, right, when you returned it?
I didn't take it, but they had a survey that they were giving to everyone who was returning them. Yeah.
Why didn't you do it?
He called the guy over.
To help Apple?
I was standing there waiting, and then he was like, "Yeah, you don't have to wait anymore," because I guess the person was busy, because probably dealing with all the other Vision Pro returns. There was such a long line of people returning that he's like, "I don't want to make you wait any longer. Just go ahead and go. Just leave it here and go." Didn't even bother opening my box or anything to see if there was even a Vision Pro in there. It could have been my dirty underwear for all he knew. Yeah, dude, I don't believe that. I mean, I hope that this is true, but the Vision Pro return rate is less than 1%. That is just that completely contradicts the actual Apple Store employee that I spoke to for 30 minutes. Like, he said they were receiving a lot of returns, and he said that there was a short list of reasons why people said they didn't want it, and it was like, it's too isolating, it's too heavy, and I forget the other reasons that he mentioned, but they were not that they didn't know how to set up the software correctly. Like, dude, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You also live in a major metropolitan area. I wonder if it would be a different return rate in Seattle compared to, say, I don't know, middle of Virginia or like Iowa or something like that.